Coming up on WFT's First at 5, complaints filed against Newberry officials who support the Newberry charter conversion. What this means for conversion plans.
Florida voters will see 2 new additions on the ballot this November. What you need to know before you vote.
And severe storms are moving through the deep south and will head our way tonight. The WFT weather team is timing out when the storms will arrive. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5 from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications. You're watching WUFT News.
The fight over the charter school conversion in Newberry is heating up. This is First at 5. I'm Bailey Korinek.
And I'm Chris Will. Organizers with the group Save Our Schools have accused Newberry leaders of tampering and ethical violations to get the votes needed for the conversion.
WUFT's Kirsten Maselka joins us live in Newberry and attended a news conference blasting the elected officials. Kirsten, Save Our Schools says these leaders misused government resources.
During the last hour, Save Our Schools Newberry, a group against the chartering, met here at the Newberry Municipal Building. Save Our Schools Newberry co-chair Tyler Forst announced his intentions to file 3 ethics complaints between Newberry officials Ricky Coleman and Mayor Jordan Marlowe. In his complaint, he states the push to charter Newberry Elementary, Oak Hall Middle School, and Newberry High School is, quote, politically motivated. In a press release, Forst alleged Coleman and Marlowe were misusing government resources.
I think the forefront of their mind should be, what are they voting on? They're being asked to vote on essentially a blank check at the cost of their child's future. And I don't think any parent would write that check. So I'd ask them to vote no and demand the whole story, the whole truth.
He quoted text messages from Coleman comparing the charter school vote Friday to a political demise. Screenshots of email messages between Marlowe and city staff organizing a budget for the conversion in December. Education First for Newberry proposed the charter school conversion effort in February. They are also named in this complaint. Joel Searcy with Yes Newberry responded to the complaint with a statement that reads in part, "We are confident in the way we manage this process and our many attempts to ensure it will be legally compliant, well-researched, properly resourced, and professionally handled." Forst said he hopes the complaints, which are investigated by the Florida Commission on Ethics, will bring to light the actions of Commissioner Coleman and Mayor Marlowe. I reached out to the mayor and the commissioner and have yet to hear back. But once we get their response, that information will be available to you on WUFT News and WUFT.org. Live in Newberry, Kirsten Maselka, WUFT News.
Parents and teachers eligible to vote on the proposed changes should be receiving their ballot and instructions this week. Ballots can be submitted at Newberry Elementary, Oakview Middle, and Newberry High School starting Friday through April 12th during the school day. There will be extended voting hours till 7 p.m. on the 8th, 10th, and 12th. Results of the vote will be released during a public meeting on April 17th at the Municipal Building in Newberry. Happening right now, health officials are giving warnings about rabies in the city of Alachua. 3 raccoons tested positive for rabies near the intersection of Northwest 94th Avenue and Northwest 234th Street. The alert will remain active for 60 days. Officials say if you see an animal presenting symptoms of rabies, to call your local animal control agency.
A Gainesville man is spending the next 5 years behind bars after an investigation revealed he was distributing child sex abuse material through a social messaging app. Officers say the 24-year-old Tyler McCann Carter was arrested in August after officers discovered child sexual material on his phone. An investigation revealed that McCann Carter had been sharing the material with other users in the social messaging app called Kik. McCann Carter told officers he was using the material to bait others and report them to the police. However, there was no record found of him actually turning someone in.
Gainesville police officers need help from neighbors in investigating a shooting where one person was killed last month. Officers say they responded to Lewis Place Apartments on March 24th after receiving reports of someone being shot. Bernard Carter III was found with a gunshot wound. He later died from his injuries in the hospital. Anyone with information about the shooting should contact GPD.
St. Francis House announced a temporary pause in its daily meal services beginning April 15th. The decision comes after careful consideration and recognition that similar services are provided in Gainesville. Executive Director Lori Schiffbauer said, quote, "Given the availability of alternative resources for day and meal services, we have made the careful decision to prioritize our shelter and support services for women and families with children experiencing homelessness. St. Francis House will continue to provide shelter, resources, and encouragement to vulnerable women and families with children through its emergency shelter."
If you vote in Florida, 2 key issues will now hit your ballot in November. Amendments regarding abortion and recreational marijuana will each be decided on this fall. The Florida Supreme Court ruled on Monday that the 2 proposed amendments are consistent with state law. The Florida Abortion Rights Amendment, also known as Amendment 4, would block Florida from prohibiting abortion until the fetus is viable outside the womb. This is usually around 24 weeks of pregnancy. The group efforting the amendment says this puts the choice in voters' hands.
We're not saying that anybody has to ideologically align with abortion. We're saying that politicians shouldn't be the determiners of that decision.
Amendment 3 would allow the sale of and possession of recreational marijuana for people 21 and older. Current state laws allow people over the age of 21 to buy marijuana if they have a medical card. If voters approve the amendment in November, people 21 and older will be able to possess 3 ounces of marijuana without a card. On Election Day, voters will decide to approve or vote down the proposed constitutional amendments. To pass either amendment, 60% of voters need to say yes.
A Leon County civil rights attorney announced he is running for state senate, and several north central Florida counties are covered under this district. Daryl Parks is running for District 3 seat in the Florida Senate. He is challenging incumbent Republican Senator Corey Simon, who has held the seat since 2022. The seat covers counties across north central Florida, including Dixie, Hamilton, Lafayette, Sewanee, and Taylor. A few of the highlights of his platform include combating high insurance and health care rates. Parks has been an attorney in the state for more than 30 years.
Marion County Sheriff's Office has 4 new deputies, and though they're in the best of shape, they all weigh more than 1,000 pounds. WUFT's Natasha Holt spoke with the Marion County Mounted Unit to learn why horses still play an active role in law enforcement in the horse capital of the world.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office recently added a mounted unit to their forces. I spoke with those in the unit about how their new equine deputies are being trained to serve and promote safety in their community. Between his daily physical and mental training that's part of serving as a deputy in the Marion County Sheriff's Office, a day in the life of Sky, an 8-year-old quarter horse, is one that some humans couldn't cut. Sky and his equine co-workers Waylon, Chip, and Blue are trained to interact with people, perform search and rescue missions, help control crowds, and participate in honor guard. Daily training is important to maintain their skills. However, they have to be born with a special temperament to make it as a member of the unit.
If their mind is good for the job, then we can, kind of help them through all the physical training aspects of it. But it's really just kind of about them and their personality that makes them so special and so good for this job.
On the job, Sky regularly encounters frightening situations that horses' natural instincts tell them to run from.
But these guys have been trained to stand collected and trust the rider instead of all the sensory going on around them. So there's a special relationship between the rider and the horse for the horse to say, okay, I don't have to leave, he's got everything under control, and they stand collected.
At large crowded events, Sky and the team are vital.
But when you get into a crowded area where people are on foot, so you've got a deputy sheriff that's now 8 to 10 feet high, sitting on top of a horse. He's a visual presence, and a visual presence will obviously lead to a deterrent of crime.
In serious times, they're trained to protect. But more often, they're relaxed and meet and greet with some of the smallest members of the community, training, protecting, and serving. It may be a task for you, but for the deputies in the mounted unit, it's all in a day's work. It's not a full-time unit, so those deputies who work alongside Sky, Waylon, Chip, and Blue have other law enforcement duties, but they put in time each week to work with their equine partners. Live in the studio, Natasha Holt, WUFT News.
A new fire rescue training facility opens in Alachua County. The Alachua County Commission held a ribbon-cutting ceremony to celebrate the opening. The training building is located along Northwest 34th Boulevard in Gainesville. The 5,000 square foot space is located at the old tax collector office. It's equipped with simulation labs, animatronic mannequins, and classrooms. The space gives employees opportunities to hone their skills and serve the citizens of Alachua County.
Now people call 911 when they don't have the answer for themselves to be able to resolve their problem. And so we've got to be prepared to resolve those problems. And that's what our focus and mission is.
The facility cost less than $1 million to construct. Funding for the building came from the American Rescue Plan and the Public Emergency Veteran Transport Program.
A UF professor is taking steps to cure diseases one equation at a time.
Why she believes math can be the cure to cancer when First at 5 returns.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
A presenter at a University of Florida College of Medicine symposium is using math to save lives.
WUFT's Nicole Borman is live in the studio to tell us how their push to cure diseases comes from personal experience.
Even though math and medicine seem to be polar opposites, one speaker preaches how if more people use them together, they can subtract what she experienced from anyone else's equation.
Speakers at the UF Science Symposium range from professionals to high schoolers who have specialized in different STEM fields. However, one speaker represented the law of attraction with the crowd she brought in like nobody else in the room by using the power of math.
We use mathematics to optimize combination regimens. You have multiple drugs that we give a patient when they have the treatment, and to get the best outcomes, we try to figure out the dose level and the dose timing of multiple drugs at the same time.
Dr. Helen Moore, a professional with a PhD in mathematics, is working to influence the next generation to include math in anything they do.
Well, the presentation she gave was really helpful towards what I want to learn and what she's doing.
The research that Moore does isn't just to help better results for other patients, but for results she wished she had gotten in her own life.
A month after my wedding, my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 gastric cancer with metastases. And if you know anything about that disease, that's a very poor prognosis. So it was a terminal diagnosis at the time.
Even though Moore can't change the past, she is doing everything she can to find this cure so that nobody else has to go through what she went through.
You know, my husband Colin was a mathematician. He would have been so proud to know that I am doing this optimization, the mathematics of optimization, and I'm using it to help people like him.
Moore works with Genentech, a medicine development company, to speed up the process of these results. However, Moore takes time to speak to students about her research because she believes that the cure is going to come from the next generation.
Moore continues to do research on the optimization of drug regimens and hopes that students that view her research get inspired to do their own. In the studio, Nicole Borman, WUFT News.
A free dental clinic has rolled into town. Ridgeview Baptist Church is hosting a free mobile dental clinic this week in Gainesville. The bus turn clinic is located in the church's parking lot on Northwest 19th Street. The clinic, run by the Florida Baptist Convention, serves people 200% below the poverty line or without dental insurance. They offer cleanings, fillings, and extractions. The clinic travels across the state of Florida and comes to Gainesville once a year. Mobile Dental Unit Coordinator Becky Lehman says the church's goal is to help those less fortunate.
We would like the community to know that we do this as the hands and feet of Christ, and that our goal is to help the community have better dental health.
The bus will be in Gainesville until Friday. It is open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
As the storm system starts to make its way east towards us, you can see a widespread scattered risk of severe storms. I'll track that coming up next.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Warmer temps across the area right now. You can see 82 in Gainesville, 85 up in Jacksonville, and 85 in Daytona. Those temperatures are pretty warm right now, and it's pretty muggy outside right now, but those temperatures are going to start to subside as we track our next front. Also with the front, we got some winds right now. Winds peaking around 17 miles per hour in Gainesville, 20 in High Springs, and 22 miles per hour up in Perry. Very windy outside right now, and that's just setting up the front right now. And you can kind of see some overhead cloud coverage on our live satellite right now moving in towards North Florida. And you can see the line of storms is around Mississippi right now, spanning up into Tennessee and into Kentucky. Now, as it heads into Tuesday night, you can see that there is a scattered risk of severe storms up in the Panhandle, spanning just west of Perry all the way out into Pensacola. We are seeing level 2 out of 5, so a couple isolated tornadoes could be possible, but damaging winds is most likely to be the case as we head into Tuesday night. Now, Wednesday morning is when that front is going to start to move through central part of Florida, spanning from Jacksonville all the way down into Sarasota. Have a slight risk there as well. Some isolated tornadoes are possible, but damaging winds and strong thunderstorms and rainfall is what is going to really be the impact as we head into this severe storm threat. As we head into our future radar, you can see Tuesday night is where the line of storms will be, but really Wednesday morning, like I said, in Tallahassee, you can see some strong thunderstorms heading into Tallahassee, off the Gulf Coast in Pensacola. But as we head into Wednesday morning, around the late morning hours into Wednesday afternoon, you can see the really long line of thunderstorms as we head into Gainesville and into Jacksonville. A couple of residual showers are following this storm as we head into Wednesday night, but that's pretty much it for the rest of the week as we head into the rest of the weekend. As we see here, you can see those muggy meters, temperatures really dropping down into the 30s on Saturday, and Wednesday is when that storm front starts to move through. Thursday and Friday, it really dries out our area and really just sets up a really nice weekend on our Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures in the 70s on our Saturday and Sunday. Sunny skies, cloudy, a couple clouds in the sky. It's going to set up a perfect weekend to be outside and have activities in the weekend. Now, just taking a look at the 7-day forecast real quick, you can see that 90% chance of rain on Wednesday is a part of that front, and it can really just noticeable temperature decreases on Friday and Saturday, being into the low 40s, warming up into the later part of the week.
Gator baseball is back in action tonight as they host the Florida A&M Rattlers. We have live coverage with WUFT's Jack Meyer from the ballpark right after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Welcome to sports. I'm Reighan Sheppard. Spring is in full swing, but Floridians know our spring is a bit more unpredictable. One day it's hot, then it rains. Now it's winter again, but hold on, don't put on a jacket because it'll be 80 degrees come noon. Gator baseball has been riding that same spring wave, and the inconsistencies are turning some heads. As the Gators prepare to take the mound again tonight, WUFT's Jack Meyer is at Condren Family Ballpark with more.
Thanks, Reagan. The Florida Gators have already endured all kinds of peaks and valleys to kick off their 2024 campaign, but they still remain hotter than ever before as they prepare for a midweek matchup with the Florida A&M Rattlers. The Gators come into today's game sporting a 16-11 record. The team has been marred by inconsistent play both at the plate and on the mound this season, especially in their midweek action. Florida has lost 4 consecutive weekday matchups, including a double-digit loss to the number 14 Florida State Seminoles last week. But the team has also excelled in conference play as of late. In their last time out, the Gators rode a pair of walk-off knocks from Cade Curlin and Jack Caglione to a series victory over the number 23 Mississippi State Bulldogs. Florida enters this week ranked at number 6 in the country according to D1 Baseball. Redshirt junior Ryan Slater is expected to take the mound for the Gators tonight, with first pitch set for 6:30 p.m. Reporting live from Condren Ballpark, Jack Meyer, WUFT News.
Let's take a look at some local baseball. Alachua County had quite a few games last night. First up in Class 1A, number 3 Oak Hall defeated number 4 Chiefland 8-3. Cedar Key traveled to Bronson in what started as a slow game until the 7th inning, where the Eagles put up 7 runs. Bronson defeated Cedar Key 13-3. Number 18 Hawthorne also took the field but was defeated by unranked St. John Lutheran. The Saints defeated the Hornets 5-1. Now let's take a look at some of the big games coming up tonight. Gainesville High School hosts Newberry tonight at 6 p.m. Then the PK Young Blue Wave will face off against the Eastside Rams at 6:30. Later on in the night, Columbia takes the road to bat against Buchholz. They'll kick things off at 7 p.m. In a quick update, due to expected bad weather, the Gator softball game initially set to take place tomorrow has been moved to Thursday at 6 p.m. at Stetson.
We're just 2 days into April, and those April showers are already on the way.
That would be the saying, right? Is what they say.
April showers being May flowers?
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe.
I mean, there will be April showers tomorrow and April severe thunderstorms tomorrow. As we look at the 7-day outlook, you can see 90% chance of rain on Wednesday. However, it is a cold front, so it is going to really cool down your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, with temperatures starting to heat back up on Sunday into parts of next week.
Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a great night.